Welcome back. Now, as always, Mondays are all about the motivation. And today, we're going to be talking about strategies you must apply for visibility and profitability. We have with us Ekundayo Ayeni. He's an alumnus of the Harvard University Executive Program, where he studied digital marketing. Now, he joins us for our motivation segment, and it might interest you to know that he's also a Google advertising partner. He's known as the most successful B2B sales guru in Nigeria. Yes, we brought him here for you. Now, he also has worked with a lot of great brands across the world as a digital marketing consultant to deliver revenue growth. And this is from a content-focused inbound marketing campaign area. There's so much to learn from this gentleman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Morning.
All right. So now, there's so much. So how do we begin? You have a background in digital marketing, and how has this changed over the past 5 years?
Okay. Thank you for having me on the show. Over the past 5 years, there have been a lot of transformation across board, as it depends on the tradition of people have changed. We have more receptive audience, as against when we started about 13 years ago, when you show up and then everybody has an impression that you want to steal something from them, or maybe you're a fraudster or something. That was the experience. I remember the first 2 startups we had failed grossly because of those kind of stuff. We started the first real estate company that sells online. That was like 13 years ago. We only made 1 sales in like 8 months. So you can imagine the number of audience. We're pitching to about 1,000 real estate people physically.
Wow.
So we had a team who would go out there with laptops and the dongles back in the days to just pitch to get them to list properties with us. So over the past 5 years, there's been more reception, more understanding. The information is all around. People now love the idea of digitalization. Even then the whole COVID thing now pushed it a bit more for quick transformation, adaptability, and all of that.
So now the words profitability and visibility, they seem to go hand in hand today. But there was a time that it was all about walking customers into a shop and a store. For someone at home right now who still has that mindset of waiting for the walk-in customer, what sort of advice do you have for them? Okay,
so obscurity is a killer. That's one thing everybody must have behind their mind. So you get to a point where you're no longer relevant because they no longer see you. You remember the simple code that says out of sight is out of mind. If you're not top of mind in your game, in advertising, there's something called TOMA. That's top of mind awareness. Consistently, you find big brands still do the billboard, your telcos still send you SMS. You get to everywhere on the street, you still see them talk about you. You even see the people who run the big religious centers still run adverts. It's not because there's not power of God or something, but there is this ideology about being top of mind. And if you think, oh, customers will come, you're gradually becoming the dinosaur. So at some point, people are going to forget you. People are going to leave you. People are going to, how do I call it now, look for convenience over what you provide. So if you're not visible enough, I think 80% of my transactions now we run from home. As large as the team is now, we work 3 times a week. We are no longer at that point where we're waiting for people to come and meet us because the ship would not come to the harbor. It would always anchor, depending on the size of the ship. Some don't even get to the harbor. They need to go and take content from them on the high sea. So same thing for your business. You need to expand. You need to be visible.
Now, our topic is visibility, right? And profitability. So now there are some people who have probably started putting some things in place, probably opened some online pages, you know, probably started putting out some content, but it's not really been working for them or bringing as many customers as they would like. What are a few tips that you could give someone trying to get visible right now? Okay,
so some quick tips I would come up with in my head immediately is, 1, provide quality. And when I mean quality, not necessarily tied to your business directly. For example, we worked on a campaign for a dry cleaning organization, and I'm not going to go there and show you how to wash. I will only show you how to care for your garments. What kind of garment are you putting on? what fits you, what suits you. Those kind of contents are more attractive, so those are quality content. Another thing about it is that go over quality than quantity. So a lot of people go by audience and say, borrowed audience and all of that. Now also make sure that if you have a website, you have something that is a blog on that website, no matter the kind of website you have. Because the blog is where the SEO works with, not necessarily the website. And
so
then
we have to break down SEO. That's
search engine optimization. That's SEO.
So when people search for your brand,
exactly,
they'll be led to the blog part of your website.
That's what really even drags the attention. So if you go through, so in the new metrics, like I did some courses last year, the new dimension of search will be voice and be video driven. So search advertising is now, the voice advertising is now very high. So if you don't put your content as bullet points, like 1, 2, 3, or at bullet point, if you search for anything on Google now, those are the first ranking points, websites that comes with bullet points, 11 ways to do this,
5 ways to do
this. If you don't go through that process or how-tos, your website will probably not rank on the first page of Google.
Wow.
So you also need to go just register your website as a business, Google My Business on Google. It's very simple, it's free. So you have the dots where people can also locate you. Another thing you want to quickly also address is the fact that you must have a timetable that gives you an opportunity to chunk out content consistently. Then you also do the yoking model. There is something called the yoking model, where you get a more experienced, maybe Instagrammer or maybe Facebook or an influencer, and hold the content with them and do something with them. So their audience become your own borrowed audience at that time, and then they would leave some residue with you when they're leaving. So for example, I was coaching some of these guys who do YouTube recently, and I said, look, go look for the biggest YouTube guys, do some videos with them, and then they will bring some attention. Like we manage a religious center, the church where I attend, and we brought in this guy who did some sort of comedy stuff. And then because he has huge following on YouTube, we've gotten over 30,000 subscribers just from him alone.
Amazing.
So it's possible for you to use other people's audience to scale your business. So not just to use an influencer, just give them your content and all of that.
So right now, visibility has completely changed from the what they call them, over the line, is right over the line.
Yeah, visibility.
Over the line. We talk about billboards and television. Now.
Exactly.
It's expanded into online, and I can still remember you saying search engine optimization was very, very key. And I have a feeling there are a few people at home that are going to be, doing their own little research at home at this point. I wish we could continue the conversation, but I'll just take one more tip from you. For a newbie, someone who has never done this before, what are the 3 things they need to have today?
Okay, first will be some level of passion and direction. Understand what your passion and your direction is. When I started, I know a lot of people who told me I would never succeed with what I'm doing, because at that point, social media was not the thing. Secondly, I will also advise that you look for people who are able to mentor you, who you can ride on the back, their influence, their exposure. And then the third thing will be own your own space, look for a niche, and make sure you own the niche properly. Become the first 10 in those kind of places where you work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayeni, for coming to talk to us. Please hit us up on social media. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Ask your questions, and he will try and answer them. Going to be heading into the kitchen right now, and Mr. Mazzino is hanging out with Chef Mary Jane.